Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Alex here. In today's video, I thought about making something that's more unfiltered, just talking. And today I just kind of want to share some lessons I've learned from probably the highest and darkest points in my life. If you saw the title of this video, it's true. I almost hit 50k USD when I was 23. However, I kind of lost it all. And in this video, I just want to kind of share some of the valuable lessons I've learned from it. And I thought there's no better time than now, since the crypto market, the stocks are kind of rallying back up. It kind of served like a reminder to myself, and hopefully whoever watching this may gain some value from it. Anyways, I'll be referring to my screen over here so I don't miss out some points I want to say. So quick context, I caught onto the crypto wave pretty early on. I first invested in Bitcoin back in 2018. At that point, I was just a polytechnic student with uh like less than $100 under me. And yeah, to be honest, at the time I had no idea what I was investing in. All I did was I saw some YouTube videos talking about Bitcoin, blockchain, and things like that. So I decided to give it a shot and threw some money into the crypto. However, shortly after that, the crypto market tanks and my portfolio was just in red. However, I wasn't really bothered by that. So I just kind of left it alone. And 2020 came. To my surprise, crypto rallied back up. We went back into the bull market, and I managed to sell off my holdings, which includes BTC, ETH, and Litecoin, for around $3,000+, which is about like 10x my initial investment. So I think that was kind of the catalyst that got me into crypto a bit more seriously. Now, around that time, that was when NFT was gaining popularity. You see, celebrity were having like Body Yacht Club, CryptoPunks, things like that. And naturally, I jumped onto that bandwagon as well. And something happened that was beyond my imagination. I actually made my first 5 figures from an NFT that I minted for less than $100. And honestly, that time it felt surreal, to be honest. And cryptocurrencies were pumping left and right. I thought that I had cracked a code or something like that. And however, little did I know that that is the beginning of something darker, the start of my downfall. So thinking that I was a genius, I began to take more aggressive moves and invested in higher risk opportunities. So we all know what happened. There were rug pulls left and right. Crypto exchanges were collapsing as well, and whatever I bought just became the high, whatever I sold became the low. And I even had to borrow money to cover some of my shortfall in hopes that I can gain it all back. However, everything was gone before I could even process what was going on. Therefore, with that out of the way, I thought in today's video, I just want to throw out some uh, things that I would have done differently. Whoever resonated with this, feel free to comment down below as well. Alright, so the first thing that I would have done differently is to cash out part of my profits, or at least take out the principal amount that I've invested in and put it in a savings account or somewhere that's relatively safe. Because here's the thing, having cash on the sideline helps us to think clearer and not act out of desperation. So let's say if there's something urgent happens, you can use the cash that you have gained from selling the asset at a premium, rather than having to sell your asset at a lower price point or break even out of desperation. And trust me, when the market is hot, you feel invincible, as if there's no forces that can stop you nor against. And naturally, you think, you just want more and more. But here's the thing, whatever that goes up has to come down at some point of time to take a breather before it can even go higher. And I also understand that times like this, it feels like it's the only opportunities that could get you out of the rut. And it's like a all in or nothing kind of mentality. And I totally feel that, because at one point I thought NFT was the only vehicle that can, get me to a new height. And if I were to miss this vehicle, I'll probably have to wait for like decades or things like that. But next thing I realized, metaverse came along, and after that, nowadays there's AI and things like that. So opportunities like this do come by from time to time. And when it comes, you have to be ready for it as well. That means having cash at the sidelines ready to be deployed during times like this. And thinking back, if I were to cash out some of it and park it as an emergency fund, I wouldn't be forced to sell most of my holdings, be it stocks or cryptos, at a loss or break even during tough times. And I could have held it and waited for the market to recover, just like what I did back in 2018. I'll probably be up quite significantly. And another thing I would like you to understand is that unrealized gains means nothing. It's just digits on the screen. So really try to cash it out, secure some of it, and maybe withdraw physical cash to actually fill it. Because most people in their lifetime can't even hit 5 figures in the savings account. And here we are being desensitized from the reality, from quick gains or from opportunities like this. Therefore, try to always think in the present and don't just live for your future self, because that isn't guaranteed. However, you have to be responsible towards your future as well. And this brings me to the next point, which is to reward yourself. With 5 figures, we can probably not work for the next 1 or 2 years rather comfortably. However, when I somehow attained that 5 figures, I wasn't actually registering how much it really worth. For me, I just wanted more and more, and I thought I was delaying gratification by letting my unrealized gains roll more and more instead of spending part of it. But to be honest, I was just being greedy. The thing is, if you never celebrate your milestones and exchange your profits with something tangible, you will get to a point when it starts to become like a game. And at the end of the day, profits just becomes numbers on a screen unless you use it, right? If you think about it, what's the point of doing all this investment in the first place? Just to get a dopamine hit? I doubt so, right? It is to transform our life meaningfully, sustainably, and therefore try to give yourself permission to use your profits or your unrealized gains, realize it on something that is meaningful to you. It could be buying an air ticket for an overseas trip or get a watch for yourself. And when you realize that this gain can actually manifest into something real in your life, that's when you start to register in your mind how much it actually worth and take it more seriously. Now, the next point is to diversify your bag. I think when you're young and do not have much capital with you, it's alright to take more risks for higher potential return, because money can always be earned back, provided there's no leverage involved. But as you start building your net worth, capital preservation and risk management becomes crucial in the long run. And that's when you want to divest your money into savings account and different assets with varied risk profile, like index funds and stocks like that. And if you have ever wondered why the rich are getting richer and the average Joe like us just kept getting screwed over, I think it's because most of them are not desperate like many of us. Whenever there are market downturns, they are rather chill because they are not overexposed to a particular asset class or things like that. Especially recently, S&P 500 just dropped more than 10% during the tariff drama, and everyone was panicking, but the rich was buying it at a huge discount. Therefore, while we are throwing money at meme coins and praying for a moonshot, they are playing a totally different game that almost guaranteed to win. However, I do think that there must be some sort of risk taking involved to really make it out financially for the average Joes, because we don't have that initial capital like them, and we definitely have to take a bit of risk to get potentially higher return. However, risk do comes in the spectrum as well. I'm not talking about dumping everything into meme coins and things like that. Therefore, you have to measure what risk profile meets your appetite and what kind of risk that allows you to continue sleep at night. Therefore, it's all about taking appropriate risk relative to your life phases, net worth, and other factors like that. I think that the name of the game is to really make sure that we survive as long as possible with some ammos remaining, so that when opportunities present themselves, we are ready to take that shot. Alright guys, so that's about it. Hope you guys gain some value from the rant. I guess all I wanted to say is that try to be smart about your money and not to get blinded by the potential gains. Secure something, live till another day, because opportunities always comes, and when it comes, make sure that you're ready for it, meaning you have cash at the sidelines to deploy and make the fullest out of whatever opportunities that is in the way. And with that said, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.